Welcome to Black Business Council. Super excited about hosting tonight. We have a couple guest speakers that I feel will it's a really good service of talking to us about their business. We've been meeting for about a year now and really elevating Black entrepreneurs, small Black businesses, and then also anyone who's interested in starting their business. We are connected with the chamber, and Matt, who you can see on here, is, do I say president or director? Is it president of the
Anything,
Marion?
but president, I guess, is my title.
President. So I definitely always want to give you a just due because we really appreciate our partnership. Um, and
Right back,
then,
Johnny.
go ahead. What'd you say, Matt?
I said right back at you.
um, and Miss Dyer and I, we do a lot of the coordinating and recruiting and getting people here to Black Business Council. So just want to start off by saying thank you for everyone who's in attendance. And I'm super excited about two of our guests that are here tonight to speak. Um, Roshanta, is it okay if I introduce you? Can I introduce you and then let you kind of talk through everything that you're doing? Yeah, you're good. Okay. All right. So it's funny because I look at Roshanta as a sister. I went to school with her sister. Her older brother was super amazing mentor, super amazing person. But I'll read the bio and then say some other things. So Roshanta Myles is currently striving to be one of the best local fashion boutiques where women can come and get hair extensions along with hair accessories and any beauty needs that they may have. Um, Beauty items include, but not limited to, makeup, purses, wigs, shirts, leg warmers, and much, much more. And I'm sure would love to hear about the much, much more piece, Roshanta. Crowned Stylez with a Z is by Princess, loves to make customers look and feel beautiful or just help create a special look that you may always have. And for Valentine's Day, this is actually perfect. Perfect time to kind of do some of this advertising.
Yes, it is.
So good. So Rashanta believes that when you look good, you feel good, and plans to use her business to continue to spread good in the community by encouraging young and old women to feel good about themselves in any way that they can. So I'm super excited about Rashanta being here. And yes, Rashanta, please tell us a little bit and a lot about your business.
Johnny,
All right.
can I
Yeah,
interject real
of course
quick
you
before
can.
she gets started?
Of course.
So Roshanta is a former student, Mark Streeter. And so I'm extremely proud. She was a very silent, quiet, very quiet young lady when she was at Mark Street School. And I don't know if that's because she's a baby of the family and couldn't do voice or whatever, but it does my heart. It's just swelling with pride to see the woman that entrepreneur that she's blossomed into to what you see in front of you today. She's just so beautiful, and it looks like she is in her shop. So I want to tell her thank you for accepting the invite, and I just cannot wait to hear what she has in store for us this evening. Thank you for coming, Roshanta.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor, and I really appreciate it. When you gave me a call and stated that you and Johnny wanted me to do this, I was very excited. I can't thank you enough. But Miss Dyer, I wanted to say, even at my years at Mark Street School, your fingernails is one of that stood out to me. So when I would go to school and I would see Miss Dyer's nails, I knew what type of mood she was going to be in, whether she got her bright red nails or her maroon nails. Those are the two colors that she normally always wore. She never changed. So I could tell what type of week that we were going to have. And normally when she had her maroon, it would be nice, calm, and relaxing. But when she had her red, I knew that we would be doing something with her and Mr. Dash. So I just want to say thank you so much for keeping your nails up and your smile and your lipstick that you would wear. That definitely had a big impact on me. And thing like this. So my name, of course, is Roshanta Myles, also known as the Princess. I've always been a girl that's been obsessed with like makeup and hair. I was one of the kids that say my mom would do my hair for picture day. By the time my mom left for work, I would be in the mirror in the bathroom changing my hairstyle. So then by the time she got my pictures on picture day, my entire my entire hairstyle would have changed, possibly even my outfit. So that has really inspired me to want to take on the fashion industry and being able to help my community not look good, but also feel good. And I feel like when you feel good, you look good, you want to do good. So that's something that's really important to me. So I am known as a, like I said before, and the name of my business is called Crowned Stylez by Princess. I am currently located inside of Platinum Barbershop, which is at 135 London Street, right around the corner from Pop's Corner Store. Inside of Platinum Barbershop, there are tons of different people servicing the community, from barbers to estheticians and much, much more. So it's kind of like a family being here. And I just really appreciate Davion McGarry for giving me this opportunity. To describe my product, some of the things that I do have in stock are wigs, eyelashes, such as magnetic ones that you glue on, ones that or help them strive for a look that they may have seen in a magazine or TV. And also my products are forever, or just for, women. I think for everyone, for believe that your hair is your first impression. When people first see you, that is the first thing they see. It makes you want to be a better you. So also, I feel like Black businesses are important because our community needs to see everyone making a change, not just one here, one there. I feel like everyone should be able to have an opportunity to bring diverse products and items to a community or city, and to be able to help others. And especially when it comes to pampering oneself, doing something good for yourself always makes you feel good. And like I said, when you feel good, you look good, you feel good, so you want to do good. It's been it has been a slippery slope, though, due to COVID. I will at that. I've had some ups and downs due to COVID-19. I will say in the beginning, when everything shut down, Crowned was to use that to an advantage. At that time, I was able to do door drop-off at people's homes, and then utilize Facebook as a way to go ahead and post items so people could see and let me know what it is that they were interested in. The beauty supplies closed, such as Sally's, and other stores where people couldn't get the necessities that they need. So they were able to reach out to me, and I was able to go ahead and get that stuff for them. Now, on the other side, when I got, when I happened to get coaching about anything as far as the drop-offs or have anyone come to the shop. So COVID-19 was a bad, but also good in many ways. An insight on that. Also, Crowned Stylez loves to cater to people. I have some visitors.
Who are they?
Yes, I have some visitors.
Let me see them.
Okay. Let's see if I can turn my camera around. So I have some shoppers. Tim Jones, one of my
They have some shoppers.
Trail.
Oh, that's
yes.
Shauna Gartrell. Oh, you
Yes.
guys realize that she is broadcasting from her shop, right?
Yes, I am broadcasting from the shop. And so, and currently right now, I am also working downtown at the Candy Shack Cafe. And then I also work at Harding Harbor. So even though I do have a busy schedule, I am able to cater to my customers whenever is needed. I sometimes even come and open the shop after hours, just if someone hasn't provide good services to my community and to my customers. I do whatever I can to either try to work with their schedule or they try to work with mine. So right now, my hours currently are 2 to 5, since I do work at the Candy Shack, and that is Tuesday through Friday. And then on Saturdays, I'm in at noon. And then if you have any other requests, you can either message me on Facebook. You will normally get a quick response within the hour, or you can reach me on my cell phone. And then, like I said, I can meet whomever at the shop if they need something. But currently my hours are Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday noon to 5. And so does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to know about me or the shop at this time?
Tell us about the challenges also, Roshanta, of being a parent. And congratulations, you guys just won the championship.
Yes, we did. Grant 7th grade won the championship.
So congratulations.
With, I want to say 20 points that game.
Tamani did?
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
One of the parents yelled out, Tamani was the MVP of the game, which that really felt good. But one of the challenges I would say about opening this shop is that I don't really have, not that I don't have any role models, but there's not a lot of people doing the same thing as me. So honestly, walking into this business venture was kind of like walking into a room with the lights off with the blindfold on. And it's like, as I feel around and turn the light on, my vision gets better. And then once I figure it out on my own, the way that I feel, it gets better. And so like I have talked to other people, like such as Chris from Out of Boys in Harding Harbor. He's given me some pointers on first owners or opening a business. But at the same time, it's really hard because there's not a lot of Black people in our community that have businesses. So just starting out on my own, I'm kind of learning as I go. But in the end, the reward is the greatest because I've done it on my own. Yeah.
What would you tell a young Black girl now, her senior year in high school that wants to start her own business? What's the piece of advice you give her?
So did you guys hear the question that Shauna Gartrell had? She said that if there was a young girl that was a senior in high school, what advice I would give her if she wanted to start a business. And my advice would be to follow your heart. Because sometimes everybody doesn't know what's on your heart. You know what I mean? And if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And no matter if someone tells you you can't do it, you can do it. Never, ever give up. It's because it's a journey between you and God. So never give up.
That was a great. Isn't she like a nurse or something?
Yes, she is a surgical tech out at Marion General Hospital, and she is one of the best. Every time when my mom had surgery, she was back there and let me know she was going to be okay. So it's like being in the community, it's like a family. So she just doesn't come here to get hair. We conversate. Sometimes someone may need a hype man, or someone may be going through something, and they can sit down and have a conversation with me and then also leave feeling beautiful. Does anybody else have any other questions for me?
Is there certain brands that you carry, like for instance, lipstick or lip gloss, or is it just a mixture of things?
So me being the person that I am, I do like to help other young entrepreneurs try to get inside of the business world. Is from Central Cosmetics, which is from a young lady by the name of Sania. She has her own lip gloss line. So I just figured it would be nice for me to put something in my shop so that people can see what she's doing. And maybe, you know, she can grow to be something or have her own business one day. So as far as the lip gloss, that's what I carry. And then I carry several different styles of wigs. And then I also carry different textures of hair. So I would have human hair, and then I also have a synthetic mix. And then I also just have a synthetic. So it just is based off the person's price range and how much they're willing to spend. And so in my mind, I always try to take under consideration the single moms, or, you know, the people that really don't want to spend a lot of money, but they still want to feel beautiful and they still want to look nice. Because you don't have to rip anybody off to make money or anything. I feel like in Marion, most people care about how they look. So they're going to spend money to, you know what I mean, make themselves feel good. So yeah, I don't have to go out of their way to try to bump up prices or anything like that. It's really just about having a service and products in Marion that we don't have, because normally people travel 30, 40 to an hour out of town just to get a wig, and time is money. So you take an hour to drive there, plus your gas and all that, when you can just stop right here at 134 London Street and I will get you whatever you need. And I also take requests. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
So Roshanta, I actually have like tears in my eyes. I'm just so happy. I like watching you and listening to your story. I feel both inspired, but I also kind of think about, like, I've watched you grow like on the internet. I watched like you sourcing things out of your house, and now you having your own space, and then like where you're going to go in the future. Well, let me make sure I get to Sarita's question, but I just wanted to say that. So Sarita asked, what products can we find in your shop, hair products mainly, and what are your favorite products to sell?
Okay, so my favorite products to sell are eyelashes. They're $5. People are like, why? They're so, like, a woman will put on a pair of eyelashes and it will change. I don't know if you've ever heard, but when they Holy Spirit activate, it's almost like eyelashes activate, because just a $5 purchase can change your whole mood, you know? And I started out with eyelashes, strip lashes, you know, and then it basically gradually grew into what I have now. So eyelashes. So that is my favorite product to sell. As far as like shampoos and conditioners, right now I have a product in by the line Myel, and it is a perfect product for biracial children or children that are mixed, because here in Marion, a lot of people have biracial children but do not know how to care for their hair. And is it their fault? No. Education comes with everything. You know, I didn't start this overnight. I didn't know about wigs all overnight. So everything is a learning process. So the Myel line has leave-in conditioner, regular shampoo, gel, what else do we have? Looking for products to help with their children and they don't know where to turn or where to look, come in and see me. And if I don't have something that will be effective for your child, I will definitely try to give you some options or a brand that would be more effective. Because my job is not to just sell something, but my thing is I want to help people's hair grow. I want to help people, you know, find the right products for their hair, you know, because the money's going to come, but the good customer service really matters. And thank you, Sarita, for your question.
Johnny, is she able,
And then
are you able to just like let us see your shop?
Yeah.
Kind of like, is that hair hanging up behind you?
Yes. So right there is the wall where I take all the pictures where Mr. Timothy Jones is standing. And
Tim
then
Jones, entrepreneur. He should be at this meeting. Extraordinaire.
he should gonna be next.
Yep.
And then I have some wigs over here. And then I have t-shirts and then some plus size women clothing. And then I have some leg warmers. And then
Oh, wait a minute. Plus size?
all
Go
plus
back there.
size fits most.
Okay.
Okay. And then I also have track hair. And then I have not inhuman or empty. Call me out. Thank you, Lord. I have ponytails with bangs. And then I have a section of braiding hair, which goes very fast. I have to keep my braiding hair stocked because a lot of people in Marion get their hair braided. And I didn't notice until I went out on this business venture. And then I'll show you some of the things on the counter.
Hey, Matt, that's an excellent question. Would you like to unmute and ask your question, Matt? That's a really good question.
I feel bad. Is I not need to help the customer or feel bad?
I help them at the same time. Is it okay if I get with them and then get right back?
Yeah. Before she goes, could you mention, because you have mentioned God and all praises to God and, you know, your blessings and stuff. Would you like to mention your church and your pastor?
Absolutely. So I am a proud member of Mays Community Temple, Church of God in Christ, and Pastor Sean Jackson, First Lady Lana Jackson, and then our state supervisor, Maddie Jewel Mays, and then our church mother, Sister Patricia, and our church mother emeritus, Mother Floyd. So
all right.
Yeah, I'm proud.
All right.
Yes, and Pastor Jackson and Sister Lana have been a great inspiration to me on this journey. And honestly, First Lady Lana was one of the first people to give me one of my first vendors to start this journey. So if God, yeah, yep. So
very nice.
Just want to thank them and thank you to
pop
them
back.
both.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Glad to see she's got people popping in and out of there and supporting that. That was nice.
When I think about Sharonda's business, I think about Patricia Floyd. If you guys remember, she had a business, something like that.
She did.
Back some years ago. Wigs and that kind of was there before her. So I'm just so proud of her because I wanted to find out how much of an inspiration her mom was to her, because every time I see Miss Vivian, she's dressed to the max. So I was just wondering how much of an inspiration her mother was to her with this venture that she had.
And Pastor Jackie, that's a great point, because Minister Floyd had a vision that was way before her time. Yes. You know, now hair, weave, all those products that Princess Roshanta was showing, you know, Minister Floyd had that vision a long time ago, and had the need for that service been around when she first had her shop, I think we would have had a very different outcome for her. But you're right. Her vision was very, very strong. So she was way before her time.
Way before her time. Yeah.
So as we're pausing to wait for Roshanta to come back, um, we do have Ide on the call, and I would love to give Ide some time. Ide, would you
Okay.
like me to screen share while you talk?
I can screen share. I got a few screens and whatnot. So yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Hi, Ide.
Hi, Miss Dyer. Hi, Miss
How are
Peterson.
you?
Long time.
So Ide is our director of policy and planning at Marion Public Health. What, you maybe 6 months into this position?
Yeah, 4 months. I started
Okay.
in October.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm super excited for Ide to be here, and he's going to talk a little bit about a grant that Marion Public Health has people who are could help do lead inspections and abatement. So I want to give him some time to talk a little bit about that. And as he's talking, if we can be thinking about people who could be potential folks for his program that may want this credential, but then also who could grow their own small business to do this type of work in Marion. But yeah, I want to kind of pass the mic to Ide so you can talk a little bit about the work that you're doing.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. And number one, don't mind my glasses right now. They're blue light glasses, but I didn't realize they reflected blue back on Zoom. So if I look like an X-Men character, don't mind me. Again, thanks for having me. I'm the Director of Policy and Planning at Marion Public Health. And essentially, I am in charge of running some special programs that we apply for to the state, funding to uplift our community in different fashions. And so in this case, I kind of wanted to give less of a presentation and more of like a PSA regarding lead, and then some specific ways that we're looking to get potentially budding entrepreneurs or established entrepreneurs into the business of lead abatement. So you can, I guess there's a lot of muted people, so I guess you can't say yes or no, but think about how much you know about lead. That number is probably, if you were to rate it from, you know a lot. Sarita knows a lot about it. So most homes built before 1980 were painted with lead within one of the components. So it has some benefits when it comes to actually painting, but lead is actually poisonous and potentially harmful to humans in any amount. Any amount of lead inside your body is not helpful. It does nothing good for you. And so it wasn't until 1978 that the US banned the use of lead-based paint. So what can lead do to the body? In short, they can cause a host of behavioral and cognitive issues. So there has been a silent epidemic of youth who have been exposed to high levels of lead in their blood, then present behavioral issues, and then their providers or supports go through a whole runaround saying, oh, it's this issue, it's that, where at the end of the day, because they've been exposed to lead, their neurochemistry is actually being affected. Now, the good news is that if you're able to remove lead from, the environment, the blood lead levels can begin to come down. And then you can provide additional support and case management to family. And so our health commissioner, Tracy Kinsler, she's been really passionate about lead for a long time. And so she decided to apply for a grant that allows us to provide lead abatement. And so what that means is inspect for lead in homes, treat the lead within the homes, and continue to identify additional families that may be connected to it. So really quick, let me share my screen and just give you a picture of what the state of lead is in Marion, Ohio. Okay. All right, so y'all can see a map on here, correct? Okay, so this map basically from 1 to 10, it indicates the likelihood that a home was built with lead in its paint. Okay, so 1 is not likely, 10 is likely. So you can already kind of see this picture in the United States. So let's make it a little more personable. Main Street. Let's go to my office. Okay, so this map is divided by tracts of land, which is the way the government uses to kind of identify what is where. And again, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, this indicates the likelihood that lead is in a home in Marion. So our lead risk score in a vast majority of, so this is a significant issue. And then you kind of bring that towards, the blight issues that we've been dealing with as well. So it's one of those things that's hidden, but it's no less pervasive or affecting, especially for our youth, especially for young pregnant women as well. So what do we want to do about it? Number one, we want to support the families that have been exposed to lead. So we're looking to provide case management, basically connecting families to the resources that might help decrease the amount of lead or get assistance in mental health or developmental concerns that they may have. So I'll get into detail with that in another context or time, but I'll also pass on this flyer kind of detailing some specific lead hazard, but also can be found in toys, in toy jewelry, certain, I know beads is an issue as well, especially imported from different countries that might have different restrictions on what they can put in their substances. So, this is something that, should be looked out for and is affecting youth in our home in Marion. So, as I said before, there's no safe level of lead in a child's blood. So our nursing department is definitely working really hard to reach out to families who test for certain blood lead levels and provide support. Now, from the business end, in order to remove lead from a home, you have to be certified because it involves a somewhat complicated process of encapsulating the home. So when you're actually doing the work, paint chips don't fly out. Then you have to remove the lead from the paint, and then you have to rebuild what you've done before. Then you have to check and see if you've done it correctly. So it's a process which requires a certification. Now, Ohio has a database where individuals or businesses can reach out to people to inspect and then provide abatement services. Now, looking at Marion, there are little to no contractors scope and size that we're talking about. So we're looking at homes. We're looking, right here in my house, I probably have to check and see, if my home has used lead-based paint. So we're looking at residential homes. Our goal is to build up the infrastructure of certified lead abatement contractors. So that requires a certification. Certification costs money. Certification is about $500, as well as the time spent to go out and do the training. So one of the things that we want to do is accelerate that process because this is a congressional priority. This isn't going away, and the governor and Congress is definitely willing to pour in more funds towards lead abatement, and we were able to benefit our community by obtaining this. So as you can see there on the flyer, we can provide free or reduced cost training vouchers to obtain that licensure. Those licenses can be used to gain bids on the grant fund. So families that we identify that would qualify for lead so I think of something like the land bank that's ongoing right now, where that is 100% an issue, whether it's been breached or not, and or private or commercial use. So, in addition to, addressing some of the homes that we identify with this grant, you also have an opportunity to kind of build a business for yourself in Marion and Mansfield and Delaware and beyond. So, we want to address families, we want to address the environment, and we also want to build the infrastructure of businesses that provide this service in Marion, Ohio. So this is a good time to get into this. And let me see, there's a chat here. Okay, please drop your question. So I have my contact information there. I know I kind of shared a lot of information really quickly. My stomach's also growling, so hopefully you could hear me above that. But any questions, thoughts, anything going through your minds?
I have a question.
Yes.
So what if you have a home that was built prior to, I think you said 78?
Yes.
And say someone comes in and repaint the whole house. That's not going to rectify the problem. Am I right?
Yes.
They didn't get rid of the other paint. They just came in and called themselves doing a do-over and just painted over the paint.
Absolutely. So before I speak, I will say I just started learning about lead in October when I started. I think my second week, they're like, hey, here's this project. I'm like, what is it? It's like it's the biggest one in Marion Public Health's history. I'm like, all right, let's go for it. So I'm in a process of learning myself.
Okay.
What I know about that particular situation is that it becomes hazardous if you can see like chipped paint. So it's almost like the paint is a seal and the lead is underneath. If it's chipped, these small particles can cause exposure. So if you were to paint over unchipped unchipped painted wall, most likely that lead is still going to remain and just kind of you're putting another piece of paper on a piece of paper. But as you said, you're not actually addressing the root cause, which is the presence of lead itself.
Thank you.
Yep.
We had another question from Sarita asking about how many hours of training are involved in obtaining the certification. Is the health department saying they plan to contract exclusively with individuals utilizing their assistance in obtaining certification? And then who's eligible to apply for the resources the health department has to offer?
Okay, so let's see, I'll tackle one thing at a time. So in terms of certification, let me bring this up here. Okay, so there are 5 distinct roles when it comes to the lead abatement process. One of them is inspections, and another one is contracting the actual work. And then there's another where you're actually providing certification to make sure that the job was done correctly. I'm pointing out the most common one, which is actually a lead abatement contractor. So that's someone who actually performs the work. The course duration, as you can see here, is 40 hours. Okay. The application is $500 as well as an exam fee. And then you have the 8-hour refresher training course every 2 years. As just to highlight this here, there's a previous certification to be a lead abatement worker that I believe that you may have to qualify for as well. But I can look into that and see what's possible. Let's see, let me go to part 2. Plan to contract exclusively with individuals utilizing their assistance in obtain. So yes, that is the goal, because right now at this moment, we don't have contractors that are certified. So ideally, our goal was to identify contractors now and here and begin that work. Unfortunately, we have to do the long and painful work of building that infrastructure. But our hope is once we identify individuals and businesses that get trained and get this refresher course and get this licensure, we would discuss creating a contract to be a part of our bid process as we continue to identify homes. It's a lot of moving parts. So we're doing case management, we're building this infrastructure, we're learning. So it seems, yeah, there's like different stories being told at the same time, but the contracting one is definitely kind of a slower burn. But again, we want to build that infrastructure that outlasts, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So I hope that helps, Sarita. I left my contact information on the flyer, and when I'm done blabbering, I will attach that to the chat.
Hey, Ide, also,
Yes.
when the BBC was first approached with these opportunities, I think Van had mentioned something as far as the training piece or opportunities for minority businesses, contractors, or et cetera. If you could follow through on asking him the benefits that the minority businesses may, I don't know if you guys had gotten a huge grant that would identify or target minority businesses or whatever, but that would be nice to know as well. I didn't know if it was money that could help with the training or what. So when we first had this on our calendar, like several months ago, I think it was like even like October, I know he was talking about a big grant, and minority businesses were the target. So I would like to follow through with that and see, what opportunities are there for minority businesses, if you would, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So so I guess I'll say that one of our targets is to ensure that a quarter of the businesses that we contract with are minority businesses. So if we work with 10 contractors, who are the mathematicians? What is that? 2, 3? That's a target. And to be honest, this is the first group forum in that we have spoken to in regards to this specific ask, in terms of reaching out to businesses and individuals who want to get into the lead game, so to speak. So that's our goal. That's our target. And one of the ways that we can accelerate that process, if there are barriers in terms of funding and finance and just uncertainty about this, that's why, we want to offer that opportunity for free or reduced cost funding for that licensure.
Nice. You answered my question. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, and the focus is on residential only. So right now, if you were to define the scope in like circles, our main goal, our primary focus are for families who have youth that have high blood lead levels. So 3 is an issue, 5 is a concern, 10 means that the Ohio Department of Health from Columbus, the state, is actually paying a visit and making sure that that family gets medical treatment. So we want to target the least of these, so to speak. And then as we gain experience and we gain victories and we support the families that need it most, then we'll look to expand further. So yes. So who is testing blood lead levels? So as far as I recall, if you are on Medicaid or Medicare, you are required to get a blood lead level test from the ages, I think between 1 and 5, I want to say. So that is the primary method in which we identify families that might have kids with elevated blood lead levels. So your primary care provider may do that. WIC does that. Our nursing department does that as well. Okay, they offer this blood test at well baby visits, but it's optional. So I would just say, as a heart, it's one of those check the in where we know, according to this map, like this is an issue. You might be doing yourself a significant service by addressing this early.
So we have a question here.
Yes.
Okay, so I might even talk about that. My question is this automatically done, the blood testing? I mean, do they test always for the lead, the level of the lead?
Can you repeat that? I'm not hearing you.
Do they automatically do that when they do blood tests? You were saying.
I'm not hearing too clearly.
Okay, whenever they draw your blood, do they automatically test for the blood level of lead?
I'm not 100% sure. My guess is that they do not. Yes, that's
my concern would be, if that's so, just wonder about the children, you know.
Well, we all know that, like, you know, if you're visiting the doctor, sometimes, I'm not saying it's right, but sometimes they'll only go as far as questions that you're going to ask. And number two, you know, I would imagine that not every doctor has, you know, this lead issue at the forefront of their mind. Now, it's also a legislative issue that is saying that this isn't required. So there's a lot of factors at play. But I think a big one is out of sight, out of mind, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's one of the reasons why they're putting funding in our hands to address homes, but also, you know, to wake the community up and say, listen, let's make sure we're okay, you know, with this. So.
I will say, we have a 1 year and a week old, and at her yearly checkup, Dr. Lee at Marion General did ask us, or no, it wasn't asked, like he brought up for her to get her lead blood levels checked automatically. He didn't even ask us any questions. He just wrote up that she needs to have it checked.
And what was that process like for you?
We haven't actually, we wanted to schedule it at the University Drive Urgent Care location, which we've had the best lab work done there. So we haven't, we were gonna take her in next week. So I can't speak to the process, but at least the scheduling part, he just did it automatically for us.
Sure. And, you know, I don't want to be an alarmist. I think enough people on this call know that that's not how I operate in the first place. It's just one of those things where if you can be aware of it and address it before it becomes too much of an issue, then you move on with life, no problems. So, you know, it is an issue, but this is an opportunity to address it head on and get whatever support, you know, that you may benefit from.
I am
does that-
I'm easily alarmed. That map alone was,
Yeah.
was eye-opening and concerning. So I'm glad you shared that with us. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really intense. And the thing that gets to me the most is this idea that there are some individual or some youth or some children who are being affected by lead and no one knows what's going on. And they may have a support system where people are trying to help and try to provide interventions and trying to connect them with people, but it's just not clicking, when at the end of the day, there's a process in place to identify and treat something that's dangerous, but again, treatable.
I don't know if you answered this, but it does say up there that these are not confirmed lead poisoning cases on this map. But is there another map that actually shows? Is there any way of identifying when there are actual confirmed lead poisoning cases mapped out? I guess, are there any in Marion? I guess, are you able to access that?
So let's see. Let me put it this way. We are mapping that data. Right now it is protected health information, but I can say that it corresponds pretty well with some of these tracked areas.
So it's not zero. This is not all like theoretical. You're seeing poisons in Marion County.
Yes, 100%. So let me see if I can pull up. We'll do this live. Let's do health department, state lead levels, Ohio. Didn't think I'd be doing this, but here we are. Okay, so I'm on the Ohio Department of Health website. Let's see, current data. Prevalence of confirmed blood lead levels among tested Ohio. So now you can see that the number is decreasing, but what that actually means is that we're doing a better job of testing. I'm sure people are hearing echoes when they're thinking about COVID and things like that. But that prevalence is, the percentage is decreasing because, you know, Governor DeWine has made a concerted effort to address blood lead levels. He's sensitized the threshold, so he's made it lower so that more families and children can get the case management or resource support depending on that lower level of lead in their blood. So
That's an all around picture. Yeah, I'm saying for Marion.
Right.
I'm talking about for Marion.
Yeah, well, is there anything, I guess, for Marion specifically?
Yeah.
not that I can provide right now.
We got the question is, are you able to get that information and be able to share that with this group, and then we can send it out to everybody here?
Yes, I can definitely look into that. Absolutely.
To make sure
I just want to make sure that I'm sharing appropriate protected health information. That's all. So I will definitely look into that and share what I can regarding that number.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ide, for educational piece, is like teaching us and kind of like allowing us to kind of get around this notion of how lead impacts our community. Part of like when you were talking, I was actually thinking about Flint, Michigan, and some of the things that were happening there, their water crisis. So thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on some of the things that you are doing at Marion Public Health. And then also is giving us an opportunity to say that there are folks in our community that can be trained in doing lead abatement. So part is like the issue that's at hand, and then the other part is like you can be a part of solving that and be paid. I don't know what someone who does lead abatement could be paid in the field, but maybe that's a future conversation that we can have there. So really want to say thank you. Like we like to give people their flowers while they're here. So really appreciate everything that you were able to talk about. So I know that we have Princess Roshanta was on again and off again a little bit. Ide just had a chance to present. So we had two really great presentations. I wanted to shift back to Princess Roshanta. I think that there were other people that had some questions for you. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of like pass the mic back to you. And for our guests that came in a little later, they might also want to know a little bit more about what you're doing, Princess Roshanta.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So, like I said previously, my name is Roshanta Myles, also known as the Princess. I currently have a small fashion boutique located inside of Platinum Barbershop, which is located at 134 London Street, and that's Marion, Ohio. And here I would say my mission is when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you want to do good. So in my boutique, I offer things such as eyelashes, wigs, shampoos, conditioners. I also offer brands for people who have biracial children, because some people don't or do not know the products that they need in order to care for their children's hair. So basically anything a woman or anyone feels like they may need in order to enhance their beauty, not make them beautiful, but enhance their beauty. So is there any questions that you'd like to ask, or?
Did you have any difficulty accessing capital? Did you have already a banking partner, or was it difficult for you to kind of establish that kind of a relationship with a local bank, or did you have to go outside of Marion for that?
So, opened a business account with PNC Bank. Figuring out the way to go about it, I'd say, was somewhat difficult, but not too hard. I was able to get it done, and they're actually a really pretty good bank. So slowly but surely, things have been falling into place as they should. So that is the bank institution that I use. And then I do also have an account with Chase, but I haven't been using that much as far as for the business. And then right now I do accept payments through the Square Reader, Cash, and then PayPal as well. As far as the business bank account goes, though, I did have to do some research on some of the best banks to use, and PNC was one of the ones that was listed. So that's why I decided to go with them. And then also my niece and nephew's mother there, she's actually a branch manager. So that's another reason why I decided to choose that bank.
Good reasons. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, great presentation again. I'm sorry it was cut into two pieces, but you did a great job both times. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Starting out, it was hard and it was scary at first, but I'm actually glad I took this leap of faith. And like I said, some days I do feel like I'm walking into a room with a blindfold, but I feel like once I do it on my own, the reward will be just so much greater, and then I'll be able to help others or people that want to maybe open a business, a hair business like me. I'm not opposed to anyone selling the same thing or going in the same business as me, because there's 4 McDonald's and there's not one McDonald's I don't eat at, you know? So it's not really about competition or worrying about other people, just what we can do to help each other grow. And then another thing about the business that I like is that a lot of my family members support me. Sometimes people get upset because people that they know or maybe friends or family don't support them. But I can honestly say my family and friends have came through for me. My mom, she's one of my regulars. Almost said favorite customer, but I won't say that. But we have a lot of styles in common, so it's easier to kind of get things that I know that she likes. And then I have customers that sometimes tell me what they want, and then I do my best to try to get what it is that they asked for. And then believe it or not, one of my first customers was my friend named Jodelle. And everybody's like, you know, is this just for Black people? And it's not, because she was actually Caucasian, and she was the first person to make a purchase from me. So I wanted to give her a shout out. So yeah, I just feel like what I do is for everyone. It's not for a specific color. It's not for a specific, you know, it's about what makes you feel good. I want everyone to feel beautiful. I don't care what you look like or, you know, or what color community, because it takes a village, whether you're raising kids, whether you're raising yourself, you know. And to me, mental health is real. And when you don't feel up to par, you definitely, you know, can be hard on yourself or go into depression. Because I know during the time of COVID, I almost did. I definitely understand why Britney Spears shaved her head off. You know what I mean? Like, some things aren't easy. I can take a load off of someone by helping them look in the mirror and see a better version of their self, then my day and my job has been done.
We really appreciate everything that you're saying, Roshanta, like connecting your work to mental health, to COVID-19 and some of the challenges that you as a small business owner have had during COVID-19, but it's in general. Can you tell us one more time before we get off, like where your location is and how does someone get a hold of you in order to do business with you?
Sure. So I am located inside of Platinum Barbershop, which is located at 134 London Street. And that's here in Marion. And it's right around the corner from Pop's Corner Store. A lot of people know that location. That's been around for many, many years. And my hours right now are 2 to 5 p.m., but I'm working on coming in earlier. Since my son's now done with basketball, I can kind of have my life back now. And so I'm located in London Street. I'm sorry, what else was the question, Johnny?
How can they come in, you know, just come into your shop if they want to buy some hair or if they want to buy a bag or any of those things?
You can contact me at 740-341-1876. Or you can reach me by Facebook, and I have a business page set up underneath Crowned Stylez by Princess LLC. And then I also have a business personal page just underneath Roshanta Myles. And there I'll list all my products, what I have available, what I've sold out of, the cost. And I also do meetup service. So say that you have an emergency at 10 o'clock at night, I can come to the shop and get whatever it is that you need if you reach out to me. You can reach me best by Facebook Messenger. I know a lot of people don't have Facebook. So on my business cards, I also have my email and my phone number. And my email is mascara, like the makeup, princess11@gmail.com. So you can reach me there. And I will get back to you. Especially, I always aim to try to get back to my customers within the same day, but normally it's like within an hour. I try to be very prompt, and even if I can't get to the shop, I at least like to keep my customers informed on when I would be there and when I won't be. And then again, thank you so much opportunity, Johnny and Ms. Dyer and everybody at the chambers. Like, I can't even thank you enough. You see, I almost got teary-eyed and cried earlier just because it's been a long time coming. Not hard, but just a long time coming. So just to be a part of this is just showing me my growth. Because sometimes when you're doing it, you don't see it, you know, until like I'm actually speaking it and talking about it. Because I did go from my house to now a shop. So it really has been a journey for me. And I just really appreciate everyone, their love and support, whether it's a share, a like, a comment. It does not go unnoticed. Sometimes people think, you know, support is all about the dollar. It's all about, but it's not. It's about communicating or just, you know, making a post and showing a picture of something that I may have. I may get 4 buys from people that I'm not even friends with that you may have shared on your page, and they may have seen something that I like. So it's just not about people buying from me. I just like people being able to interact with me. And when they think about hair or beauty products, they mention my name or they mention Crowned Stylez. That is my goal.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Roshanta. And what I did is I dropped your name, the Crowned Stylez by Princess LLC, also your Facebook and your email in the chat so people can get access to that. Again, like, we want to give you flowers while you're here. So thank you so much for everything. And like you, I got teary-eyed earlier just watching you present, because I do feel this was a very inspiring time that we spent with you. I do want to say before we get off here, again, thank you, Roshanta, for coming and telling us all about Crowned Stylez by Princess LLC. Thank you to Ide for coming to talk about lead, giving us education there, and then also the grant that they have to employ people to get lead training for lead abatement. We will be sending an email out about our next event. Matt, would you say anything about that?
Well, just a couple things again. Thank you, Roshanta, for the presentation. And first, I have to say, Sarita, I told her in a text, but I am still working on Sarita's spotlight from the last month. I'm hoping to have that out by Wednesday of next week. Now that was a little bit longer, and there's some file issues with there, but I've got it almost completely cut and ready to go up. And I know you guys are trying to challenge me. That's why we split this one up. Roshanta's into 3 different segments, so I will have some fun putting that together into one cohesive package. But that'll eventually go up on our YouTube channel, and we'll make sure everyone here knows when those go up, so we can all support and share those on our social medias and everything else we can do with that. But just give me a little bit of time to put those out, and we'll go from there. And then before we leave, real quick, 2 things came across my desk we might be interested in. The BWC is hosting a minority-owned business support webinar to cover things like compliance, OSHA standards, et cetera, for minority-owned businesses on February 23rd. And I believe that's available. I'll send out links to all that later. And then on February 15th, I guess I should have done this in a different order. The Ohio Department of Development and the Minority Business League Council in Columbus is doing a virtual small business minority development day seminar virtually at 11 o'clock. And I'll also have a link to that as well, where they'll cover the resources they have, including for small business or minority small businesses as well. So I just wanted to point those things out. And that's all I've got for now. And oh yeah, so and to your point, March 10th at 6 o'clock back here at the chamber and on virtual is our next meeting.
Again,
thank you again for our guests here that are attending in person.
I guess. Hello. Thank you so much for coming in person. Thank you, Jess, for being here. Thank you, Sarita, for being here. And again, Matt, as always, thank you for everything that you're doing in partnership with Black Business Council, Marion Chamber. We really appreciate everything that you are doing. So safe travels, everyone leaving the chamber. Thank you again, Roshanta. Thank you again, Ide. And please, please, please stay healthy. And thank you for everything that you do. Good night.
Good night.
Right.